Clearing any kind of content in Raid Shadow Legends, whether it's defeating bosses in the dungeons or taking on the illustrious and much more important, let's be real, clan bosses inside of the game, really comes down to hitting a checklist of tools that you're trying to bring into the fight and bringing combinations of champions to the fight that to sort of fit the build perfectly and check as many of those boxes as you possibly can. Of course, gear and stuff is going to have a part to play in all of this, but the art of building a well-rounded team that's just fitting as many of the mechanics of the boss as possible and countering the boss as much as possible is damn near everything. And so what is up, guys? This is Cobb. Welcome to a few account takeovers, rapid fire style, wrapped up into one video where I'm going to be taking a look at a few of your guys' accounts that you guys submitted for takeover, and addressing the teams that you are looking to build on your account, giving you a breakdown of exactly the team that I would build for each area of the game, starting off with Mr. Freakman's account right here, and Demon Lord Clan Boss. Before we get to that, man, if you're looking to create a new Raid Shadow Legends account, man, and get off to a fresh start this autumnal season, then make sure to get that done right now with a triple legendary start by using the beginner promo link that's down below this video at the top of the description box, man. Click on that link on laptop or PC and use that link to create your new account, man, for Basilius Varanus as your day 1 starter legendary, and 3 free epic champions as you level up your account. You can also pick up a couple of extra legendaries from a beginner promo code, and Michelangelo, while he is the login, free login legendary champion, which is only active until the end of this month, so make sure that you get that done while you yet can. Okay, man. Let's do this. Mr. Freakman's account. He's looking to build himself a Demon Lord team, and there's a lot of dross here that I'm just going to go ahead and blank out straight away like so. All of the champions down here, as far as I'm concerned, are not super great Demon Lord champions. You could make a case for Apothecary right here with like Giant Slayers and increased speed booster champion, but honestly, do you want to go back and level an Apothecary on this account at this stage? In my opinion, probably not. And so all those champions down the bottom we can safely ignore. We've also got some food champions here as well that we can also ignore too, of course. First and foremost, what kind of tools do you actually want to bring into Demon Lord Clan Boss, right? Demon Lord Clan Boss, it's simple-ish, and really you're trying to bring as much of a mixture of these different tools as you possibly can. In the early game, it's tough to bring them all, but you're looking to bring, definitely in terms of debuffs, in my opinion, decreased attack debuff is like the most important. Poison and HP burn debuffs are great for dealing damage. Decreased defense and weaken are going to help to amplify your team's damage even more. And then for buffs on your team, you're going to need some AoE healing on your team. An increased defense buff can be very useful. An ally protect buff on one of your champions can be very, very useful as well as an increased speed buff a champion for just generally speaking, increasing your damage output. And ally attack can be pretty good as well. So, back to Mr. Freakman Ultra's roster. What champions would I build right here on this account? First thing that I always look at is what good Demon Lord champions do we have that actually bring a good aura to the fight? A defense aura or a speed aura, right? For your team leader. Those tend to be like the best auras that you can possibly bring, and I gotta say, our options are rather limited on that front for Mr. Freakman's account here. And for me, I almost regret to say, like, I don't like this pick as champion number 1 for this team, but I don't actually see any other real option unless we're looking to book the Sigmund, and like we have booked the Sigmund, but do you want to book Sigmund over a bloody, what's this champion's name again? Is it Harima? I don't know, very, very good champion. You probably want to book her first, right? So you're probably not going to be booking the Sigmund. I would bring along Haikatun as the aura lead, only because, again, she brings the speed aura in all battles by 19%, and she brings an increased speed buff on a 3-turn. The rest of her kit doesn't really do anything into Demon Lord Clan Boss, so she's just there as a speed engine. Now, you could, on this account, go ahead and instead, of course, level the Apothecary. However, the issue with that, is it really that big of an upgrade? Yes, Apothecary brings an increased speed buff on a 3-turn, same as Haikatun. He brings a triple hit at A1, which means that he can deal more damage if you get up his masteries and build him with Giant Slayer mastery, and so he can offer more damage than a Haikatun. But then he doesn't bring the speed aura, and his defense aura doesn't work in Demon Lord, and so it's probably a lot of investment to fully farm up and fully build an Apothecary properly for Mr. Freakman, for realistically very, very little upgrade over the Haikatun at this point on this account. Next champion that I would build would actually be a champion that's sitting at 5 stars on this account right now. This very, very special little champion all up and down here, known as Rearguard Sergeant. Rearguard Sergeant is a pint-sized little badass. She basically brings a lot of the major tools that you want to bring into Demon Lord. Sadly, the aura only affects Force ally champions, which is very, very strange, but you can run it as an aura lead, I guess, maybe, in some Demon Lord teams. But what does she actually do? Well, she brings a 50% land rate decreased defense debuff on her A1 skill, so great, you know, if she's able to land that. She also brings a 75% land rate decreased attack debuff On the A2, she also heals herself for some of the damage inflicted, and then she brings a 3-turn cooldown Ally Protect and continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. This is massive. This is enormous, okay? Ridiculously good. 3-turn cooldown, Ally Protect, strong version, massively reducing the damage that the rest of your team takes, and she takes care of the healing as well for your team. Like, she can be the solo healer on your Demon Lord team, pretty much, you know, pretty much. Of course, if you can break a leech debuff or something as well, just to help things along, that might be nice, but this is a great and powerful skill. That said, she doesn't place the continuous heal buff on herself. That's the one caveat with a Rearguard Sergeant, right? You gotta build your Rearguard Sergeant in like 6 pieces of Immortal gear so she can heal herself that way, or just straight up like Regeneration gear. Probably Regeneration gear, 4-piece Regeneration, 2-piece Immortal, that kind of thing. She's got to bring a lot of self-healing in order to be able to actually pull this off and live in your Demon Lord team, unless you're going to bring a second healer. But then it's a lot of overhealing, you know, because you're already bringing continuous heal. But yeah, she brings a lot of great tools. The decreased attack being the most important among them. 75% land rate is pretty good. Let's go ahead and add another champion onto the team that's going to also bring another form of decreased attack, which is actually going to be the Harima. I really, really hope that this is Harima. For some reason, I always mess up the names of the Shadowkin legendaries, man. I believe that's Harima, and I believe Harima brings herself another form of decreased attack on her A1 skill, providing I'm getting this champion right. Where is she, man? There she is, man. Good old Harima. Yeah, it is Harima. Harima brings an attack one enemy, 75% land rate, booked, chance of placing strong decreased attack for 2 turns. Between Harima and Rearguard Sergeant, that's very reliable decreased attack, the most important debuff that you want to bring in any form of killable Demon Lord clan boss team. Yeah, just very, very good. And this is a super powerful champion anyway that you do want to fully book and build basically every account, you know. Great champion. She also brings an A2 that's a triple hitter on a 3-turn. Each hit decreases the target's defense by 5%, stacking up to 30. Okay. Demon Lord clan boss fight, like the longer we can make the fight last in Demon Lord with a champion like Harima on the team, the more we're going to benefit from this stacking up to a 30% decrease defense. Just permanent. You know, it's not marked by like a debuff or anything. It's just a permanent passive decreased defense debuff that's constantly up against the Demon Lord clan boss for the entire fight pretty much. And so she's going to be incredible as a damage dealer. She's going to bring the decreased attack. We can go ahead and disable her A3 skill against Demon Lord. Of course, we don't want her wasting time trying to place a provoke or wasting damage using an attack all enemies skill on a single target. There's no point in that. Disable the A3 on the Harima. I would use her in the team. 2 spots left. Next up, another damage dealer. I do see that we have ourselves a Frozen Banshee, level 60 on this account. She could be an option, to be fair. It's really just, it just depends. Do we have masteries farmed and stuff on the Frozen Banshee, or do we want to bring along the Myceliac Priest instead? We could bring the Frozen Banshee, we could bring the Myceliac Priest on. Whoever's got the most masteries, whoever's fully booked, whoever's just pulling the most damage, and we can just sort of like A-B test and test out both of the teams and see which poison is going to bring the most damage to the table between the two. Honestly, we could even just bring both of them and see how they do together and see if they're not stacking too many poisons and kind of you know what I mean? Like, there's a debuff limit on the boss of 10 debuffs after all, and so if we're stacking too many poisons, you don't want to be in a place where suddenly you can't place decreased attack anymore because you've got too many debuffs up on the boss. We just got to see the team in action and see how that works. Otherwise, we can honestly just throw Alice into the team as the 5th damage dealer, like Alice plus Myceliac Priest, or Alice plus the Frozen Banshee. All that really matters about the Alice, to be honest, is going to be the following, and that is that because she's got the 5-star soul, instead of building her with Crushing Rend, building her with Brimstone. You know, basically any damage dealer that you can bring to the table has to bring in a lot of direct damage, and you're bringing decreased defense to the table, like we are in this team. Then bringing along a direct damage dealer like an Alice that's bringing Brimstone and a chance to deal this massive percentage health damage to the boss via the Smite debuff might just do more damage than you might think and might be able to outperform the damage of like the Myceliac Priest or maybe the Frozen Banshee and stuff like that. So it's just about testing and finding what the best damage dealer options are for Mr. Freakman's account. Next account we will be touching on is going to be all about creating Hydra teams and working with what we've got. There's not that many 60s on this upcoming account, man, but what kind of tools are you looking to actually bring into Hydra? Well, there are many of them. Frankly, I don't even want to read them all off. They're all going to be above my head right now. I will say that the main two tools that you've got to look to bring into Hydra, I suppose 3 or 4, but the main two that always come to mind for me are the Provoke debuff to handle the Head of Decay. If you don't have the Head of Decay provoked, horrible things are going to happen, and very, very quickly, okay? I will just leave it at that. And, of course, an AoE block buffs debuffer champ, okay? You got to keep those poison cloud debuffs off of the Hydra heads. You got to stop the Head of Mischief from stealing your buffs and then spreading them to all of the other Hydra heads. So for me, Provoke and block buffs are the two most important tools for you to be bringing. Now, of course, you've got to bring a whole bunch of debuff cleanse for your guys, AoE healing, a reviver's certainly going to help, HP bends are great, Hex debuffers are lovely. There's a lot of tools that you can be bringing into Hydra, man. Let's take a look at the roster. And this is what Mr. Ash is working with. Now, Ash PT, by the way, not the YouTuber Ash, he doesn't need my help, okay? I'm sure that he's annihilating Hydra. When it comes to Mr. Ash's account right here, he was very, very hyped and correct to be hyped about having multiple champions that can handle the provoke job very, very well. One of them being Vizix the Unbowed, and the other being Grazur Iron Gut. This guy's monstrous. Man, I'll never forget this champion. This was the first champion that I ever tried to pull on a progressive chance event for with my Void Shards on my main account. Didn't get him. Obviously, if I did, you never see the end of this guy on my account. This champion is unbelievable. Right, brings the defense aura in all battles by 33%. Attack all enemies A1, place a shield buff on all allies, except Grazzo, albeit, but whatever. The value of this shield is proportional to this champion's defense. Big shield on attack all enemies A1. Like, it doesn't even make sense how good this A1 is, you know? The A2 skills that attack all enemies heal this champion by 10% of damage dealt, increase the duration of all buffs in all allies by 110. And then on the A3, we have that Void Edition Provoke. Attack all enemies, 3-turn cooldown, place provoke for 110. Also places increased resistance and increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns as well. These are important too, right? The increased resistance on a team, on like a Hydra team, can be unbelievably powerful, especially when combined up with champions that bring things like decreased accuracy against the Hydra heads, which we will be able to bring in at least one of these teams, right? We can have a very, very high resist, very, very difficult for the Hydra heads to place poisons on this kind of team. If you've got like an increased resistance buff on the team, hard for the Hydra heads to place provoke, very difficult for the Head of Mischief to actually steal any of your buffs, you know? Very nice. Also brings increased defense. Grazza also brings all kinds of healing as well on his passive. Whenever this champion is attacked, heal all allies by 35% of damage received from boss attacks. And so, great. It's a passive. This effect has no cooldown. He's going to be doing a hell of a lot of healing for us too. Big concern that this account is going to have, however, is again a big lack of champions bringing increased speed, man. I hate to say it. I feel like a damn broken record, man, talking about this, but you gotta have good, powerful increased speed buff for champions to bring along. What have we got on this account? Well, to kick off team number 1, yes, I would start with the Haikatoon. No, I'm not happy about it, but she brings the speed aura. She brings increased speed buff. Is she a great champion? No, she's not. She's not at all for Hydra, but I just value increased speed buffers that bloody much, right? One thing I left out about Grazzo, by the way, is that he also deals max HP damage, I believe on his A2 skill on attack all enemies, so he does amazing, amazing damage as well. And so for the first team, it's going to be Haikatoon, it's going to be Grazur Iron Gut, who could also be the aura lead in future, by the way. If we find like a different increased speed buffer champion, we could just get rid of Haikatoon out of the team and have Grazzo as the aura lead with his defense aura. Damage, provoke, healing, survivability, shields coming in from Grazzo is going to be great. Straight away, I'm then going to key in the Geomancer as one of the damage dealers. This is going to be absolutely incredible for this team for multiple reasons. Because not only is Geomancer, of course, an incredible damage dealer with his HP bend spam and his passive and his weakened debuffs and all of that, that's all going to be great. But even on Geomancer's A1, like, we should just disable the Geo's A2 into Hydra, by the way, so that he uses his A1 more. It's a 40% land rate decrease accuracy debuff for 2 turns on attack all enemies, bro. This is actually pretty good. When you've got an increased resistance champion on your team, buffer like Grazzo, bro, Geomancer's value skyrockets like crazy, because all of a sudden this pretty useless decrease accuracy debuff actually really starts to do something and really starts to mess with the Hydra head's ability to land debuffs on your guys. Next champion I'm gonna pick, and I'm cheating here a little bit because I've seen more screenshots from Ash's account, and I know for a fact he's actually got a slightly low level Ugo that's not appearing on the screenshot, and so the Ugo is definitely gonna make this team. So see the Sepulchre Sentinel right here that I'm wiggling my mouse over right now? Keep looking, keep watching. Bam! It's an Ugo now, dude. It's gonna transform it real quick. The powers of Photoshop, man, what can I say? Ugo's definitely going to make the team. It's extra healing, it's debuff cleanse, it's an AoE decreased defense, which is very important when you've got a damage dealer, like max HP damage coming in from like a Grazo on the team. We want that decreased defense. And most importantly, of course, it's the block buffs debuff on all of the Hydra heads. So Ugo's definitely going to make the team, and we'll bring back Sepulchre Sentinel a little bit later on, maybe. For me, the next champion would then be Royal Guard, another great damage dealer to bring along if you're bringing like AoE decreased defense and stuff, which hopefully you are. Max HP damage dealer, he's also going to bring a form of decreased speed against the Hydra heads as well on his A3, which it's fine to bring a little bit of that into Hydra too, and so he's going to help out there. And we are limited a little bit on further options for just good damage dealers into Hydra anyway. Like, we've got pretty good damage dealers on the account, like the Alice and stuff like that, but they're not really Hydra damage dealers, not like a Royal Guard is. And for the final champion on the squad, where is she? I did see her earlier on. Oh god, I've lost her. I've lost the Mithrala. Oh, there she is. Okay, just below the Royal Guard, actually. I was looking a bit further down on the screen for some reason. Yeah, I just bring along the Mithrala. She's going to bring, like, increased attack buffs to the squad, another form of increased defense on top of the Grazos. She's also going to bring strengthen buffs, which are great, and shield buffs to help keep the team alive, as well as some debuff cleanse. And all of those unique buffs that a Mithrala is bringing are going to be extra valuable to bring along because we're running a high resistance team here, right? The objective with this team is going to be placing the decreased accuracy often as we can from the Geomancer's A1, as well as him landing the HP bends and stuff, and getting up that increased resistance buff on the Grazo across everybody, and then we can just build every champion on the team with, say, like 170, maybe 180 resistance. If they can hit 170 or 180 resistance each, against like hard mode Hydra at least, they should be resisting almost everything that the Hydra heads throw at them, as long as that decreased accuracy debuff is landing from the Geo. Which means that all of these extra buffs that the Mithrala is placing, the strengthen, the shields, she's bringing Hex as well, which I didn't even touch on, and all these unique buffs here on that A2 as well. Those are all going to stick. They're all going to get value. They're not going to be stolen by the Head of Mischief, which I think there's a lot to say for that. And anytime those true fears and stuff and provokes do get through, hopefully the Mithrala can come in and remove them as well. For a team number 2 that I would build on this account, I'm going to go ahead and pen this one in a slightly different color. This team's going to take a little bit longer to build, but again, it's going to check as many of the boxes as we possibly can. I'd actually run Michelangelo as the aura lead in the next team. He's going to bring decreased defense, decreased attack, debuffs to the table, which are 2 important tools to bring. I would then bring as the provoker, we can go ahead and then lock in the Physics and give the Physics her time to shine. We can bring the Sun Wukong as damage dealer plus a block buffs champion. So we've already checked a lot of sort of the major boxes here. We just then need to take care of heals. For that, I'd bring along Doom Priest. She's already level 60. We don't want to give ourselves too steep of a hill to climb here. I bring along the Doom Priest for the second team. Healing and debuff cleanse is going to be great. There's a Rector Drath around here somewhere. I swear I've seen her. We could also consider leveling the Mad Hatter, by the way. Mad Hatter's currently sitting at level 50. It's going to take him a while to buck up on top of Mikey, of course. For me, he's a little bit lower priority than the Mikey as a result, because we've already got some decent healers sort of maxed up and ready to go. The Rector Drath is actually down towards the bottom here. Just spotted her. I'd bring along the Doom Priest and the Rector Drath as the core healers for now, and we could eventually replace the Doom Priest with the Mad Hatter if we want to go ahead and upgrade this team a little bit. He brings some cleanse, ally attack, hex to the second team, as well as some healing, and so he's going to be a good upgrade to the Doom Priest over time. And then for the final spot, just another damage dealer, we can bring along the Sikia for some good old AoE HP burns, and that will be my Hydra team number 2. Do let me know how you guys are actually enjoying this video, by the way. It's a little bit different to the What to Max Next video. It's a bit more of like a complex topic. Team building via rosters like this. I know it might be quite academic for some people, but I do believe that team building is like the best way to actually improve your account and just knowing what champions you're going to build next. There's a bit more to it than that, right? Especially for more complicated content like Hydra and stuff, knowing what you're going to build and how to structure your teams and stuff is really quite crucial. So I hope videos like this are actually going to be... I hope they're going to be entertaining enough for people to stick around and actually get something from them, you know, especially the newer players watching. Next up, the final account that we're going to get to, the final team that we're going to build, is going to be the account of Mr. Bloody, okay? And he's looking to build a team for Chimera, and Chimera is actually one of the more simple teams to build when you're just getting started, if you're not counting the trials, right? Getting the trials done, okay, now you've got to start bringing very, very unique tools to the table, right? Increase accuracy buffs, fears and true fears, so those can be helpful for survival. Lots of different unique buffs to the table, things like increased defense. And just straight up, you've got trials like damage the Chimera while your champions are under 5 unique buffs. So just bringing any old unique buff to the table can help you get through some of the trials and get get you more rewards. But generally speaking, when it comes to just the general tools that you want to bring to Chimera, the rule here is you cannot build a team that is fast enough into Chimera, and you can actually place decreased speed against Chimera, and it's encouraged to place decreased speed against the Chimera, right? Tools that you want to bring: decreased speed debuff against Chimera, increased speed buff and 10 meter boosts for your own champions, a speed or a lead for your team is going to be very, very important, right? Just get fast as hell. And then it's all of the standard stuff, same as Demon Lord, right? Minus poisons, I suppose. HP burn, max HP damage, decreased defense, weaken, decreased attack, all of that juicy sauce. Oh, and you're almost definitely going to need at least some AoE healing, as well as a reviver champion into Chimera. Otherwise, your run is probably going to be stopped short as soon as you hit the ram form in Chimera, and that's just not going to be pretty for you, man. So this is the account right here, or the roster right here, rather, of Mr. Bloody. Let me switch back over to my green pen as we lock in what we're looking at here. And for me, straight away, one champion instantly jumps out, and it's going to be the Nekmothar up at the top here. Nekmothar is one of the best Chimera champions in the game, one of the best Hydra champions, just one of the best champions of the game. Overall, I think it can be said. Nekmo's one of those guys that is going to help you complete a whole bunch of trials. He's going to bring that speed aura in all battles, and so he's going to be a great speed aura lead into Chimera for you. He brings the increased speed buff for your team, gets himself an extra turn, and then also places decreased speed debuff against the boss as well. So he's checking the two most important boxes against Chimera right away. He brings the leech debuff as well, which is required for completing one of the earlier trials against, what is it, Lion form? I think it might be Lion. Brings decreased attack on his A1. Just an incredible champion and the perfect champion to get this team started with. Now, Nekmothar's decreased speed may fail to land sometimes. When Chimera switches forms, it's going to shed all of its debuffs, and you're going to have to start from fresh, and so you might have a couple turns there where you don't have a decreased speed debuff against it, and so it's totally fine to bring a second decreased speed champion. And to that end, I would actually bring along the Stagnite in this team. Stagnite brings a decreased speed debuff on his A1 skill, at like a 50% land rate on a double hitter, and so it's pretty good. It's going to be an extra way of keeping decreased speed debuff up against the boss. It's just that important to bring decreased speed, and multiple sources really can't hurt you going into Chimera. And he's also going to bring decreased defense as well as decreased attack on his A2 skill as well, which can only help. Next up, another absolute juggernaut champion to take into Chimera is going to be Farrakhan the Rotund, aka Farrakhan the Fat, or as I like to call him, Farrakhan the Spherical. So the thing is with Farrakhan is that he does such an amazing job of helping you to complete trials kind of effortlessly, while also seriously boosting up your damage by a whole bunch as well. I also saw that the Farrakhan on Bloody's account is empowered and 5-star awakened, so bro, like, we've got to get this guy built, man. He's going to bring a second chance to place decreased defense on his A1 skill, which is great. This means that we're going to have 2 decreased defense champions, 2 decreased attack champions, and 2 decreased speed champions on the team, which is amazing. It's like great uptime on all of those super important debuffs. He's going to bring HP burn and poison, and just bringing unique debuffs to the table, as well as HP burn, is going to help you get through a bunch of the Chimera trials, which is crucial, of course, for just maximizing the rewards you get, and even brings ally attack and more unique buffs to the table with his A3 as well, right? These unique buffs are going to get you through more trials, and the ally attack will get you through trials as well. I think it's, God, I'm not even going to try and remember what form it is, but one of the forms of Chimera, one of its final stage 3 trials is to deal ally attack or counter attack damage to finish that trial, and so Farrakhan's going to get endless value into Chimera Clan Boss on this account. We'll be using him there basically forever. That is 3 champions down, 2 more to go. Now, we need damage, and I'm looking at the damage dealer options that we've got on the account. I mean, we could take along the Royal Guard for now. He's going to get a tick. Royal Guard, max HP damage. We're probably using him in one of the Hydra teams on the account anyway. You know, he's probably built and booked, I'd imagine. Not bad to bring along. But we've already got multiple champions that are bringing decreased speed, and we've already got multiple champions that are bringing decreased defense, which is like 2 of the extra tools that Royal Guard's going to bring, you know, and so what's he really doing besides dealing damage once every 4 turns with his A2, with his max HP skill, you know? Not a massive amount. A much better option for us is to go all the way down to the bottom here of Mr. Bloody's roster, and for me, max up the Whisper. Whisper is better than you think. Okay, I did a video somewhat recently, man. I finally built out a Whisper on my main account. Took her out for a test into a Hydra, and she straight up displaced my damage dealer in my Hydra B team. I now actually just actively use her on Hydra on my pretty stacked main account. You know, it's only 2 years old. It could be even more stacked, I'm sure, but it's doing pretty good. The fact Whisper was able to just muscle her way into the team and get herself represented on one of my Hydra teams is kind of crazy, right? She's an incredible damage dealer. Again, we're already bringing decreased defense to the table. Well, Whisper's also going to bring a form of weaken on her A1 at a 75% land rate. So that's nice. That's great. Which is really, really important because she relies on having weaken up against the boss in order to give herself extra turns from her A3 skill. She attacks one enemy 2 times, get an extra turn if the target's under decreased defense and weaken debuffs. On her A2 skill, she's got to attack one enemy. She self-buffs with this, smacks on in, and will ignore 100% of defense if the target's under weaken debuff. So, again, and by the way, you might think, oh, well, it's only a 75% chance to land the weaken. Is she really going to have that good uptime? But you got to consider, man, she gets a lot of extra turns anyway, you know, from like her passive skill, for example. So that's a lot of extra A1 she's getting off. And we have Farrakhan the Fat, who's going to be ally attacking with the Whisper as well, and triggering her to attack in a lot with this A1 skill. So yeah, I think she's going to do just fine for weaken uptime. Could be better. I'd love it if we had like another weakened champion on the team just to really shore it up, but I think that she'll do very, very well indeed and do a lot more damage than a Royal Guard at any rate. And the final champion I would bring along is sadly a lot less exciting. It's a lot less hype, really. It would be the Rector-Drath. We need a reviver on the team. Some AoE heals from the Rector-Drath as well are also going to go a hell of a long way. The Rector-Drath's heals plus the leech debuff from the Necmo should be more than enough healing. She's also going to bring another decreased attack on her A1, but we shouldn't really need it. It's mostly about the revive, about the heals on the Rector, and honestly the Veil buffs as well, and continuous heal buffs and stuff like that she's going to be putting out too are going to help as extra unique buffs to bring into the fight, and so that's also good, you know, for completing some trials. She's fine. She's fine. The Rect is one of those that we can look to replace eventually in time with like a better legendary option. And with that, that's every single clan boss covered, and those are the teams that I would build on those 3 accounts. Quick little video here, man. I say quick. 3 account takeovers in 27 minutes isn't too bad, you know, if we can call these account takeovers, but I'm trying to get to as many of your guys' accounts as I possibly can. More full in-depth takeovers, of course, on the way in the coming weeks, as they always are, man. If you're looking to create a new raid account, make sure to get that done right now by using the beginner promo link that's down below this video at the top of the description box, and I am going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, man.